We believe we've come up with the perfect formula for evaluating seasonal short-term rentals, specifically in Michigan.
It is called the 1 in 7 test, Jamie and Sarah's shortcut to evaluating short-term rentals. This is the tool that we use for our own selves whenever we are looking into real estate.
So we're going to explain the formula, and then we're going to show you a few properties that actually meet that formula that are listed on the MLS right now that you could buy if you wish.
So what is the 1 in 7 rule?
So our 1 in 7 test is basically this. Does the estimated revenue of the rental property equal 1/7 of the purchase price? So in 1 year, can your revenue equal 1/7 of the price you paid for the property? And so you may say, well, how do I find out my estimated revenue? Well, we're going to show you how today. Because Michigan is a very seasonal market, we usually say there's really only about 100 days of year where you're going to have prime pricing, which is like the max you can get. And that's June, July, August. So that's actually only 92 days, but we're saying 100 just to be safe.
You definitely can rent your Airbnb out for off-season, especially if you have the right amenities, which we will go over. But 100 nights is a good starting point to make sure that you are meeting your basic needs, expenses, and revenue.
So it's kind of like a worst case scenario type thing. We hope you could book 200 nights a year. And if you follow along and you use some of our design tips and amenities like Sarah said, we think 200 nights is actually a better estimate. So we're going to show you a few properties that perfectly line up with this example.
That are on the market currently today.
This first property is not on a lake, but it technically actually is on a lake. So basically the lot doesn't go all the way to the shore, but there's a public lot in front of it. So essentially you have a lakefront property. You can't like park a boat there, but generally a lot of times you don't have boats parked at short-term rentals. So people can come, they can bring a boat. There's a boat ramp here at this property, and you can see the water from the house. You can walk down to the water. It's a sandy beachfront.
So this, ladies and gentlemen, is what we like to call a loophole, because you are owning a house on a lake without actually having to pay for being on a lake.
Right, it's kind of like a unicorn property, honestly. I don't know why nobody's bought this yet, but it is a 4-bed, 2-bath house, 1,700 square feet on Wolf Lake in Muskegon, which is an amazing, similar to the lake our house is on, but just sandy, shorefront, just a beautiful, huge lake, all sports. You can go boating on it. It has a hot tub.
Should we buy this?
If you're still using 5 different tools to clean your pool or spending thousands a year on pool maintenance, it's time to upgrade your pool life. This is the Aiper Scuba X1, a robotic pool cleaner designed to save you money, time, and effort. You know, the traditional way to clean a pool is with all these different tools. It takes me, at least an hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours a week to clean traditionally, but now I just turn on the Aiper Scuba X1, throw it in, and let it do the rest. It makes pool cleaning just so much simpler, and I can spend more time enjoying the pool with my friends and family instead of just spending all my time cleaning it. With a 6,600 gallon per hour dual jet suction system and 4 heavy-duty PVC brushes, it deep cleans your pool floor, climbs walls, and scrubs the water line non-stop. It has a special wave path navigation that uses high precision sensors to avoid obstacles and cover every inch of your pool efficiently and intelligently. Another thing I really love about Aiper products is their micro mesh fine filter. So it doesn't just filter out big leaves and things in your pool, but even down to small little particles like algae and things like that. So it really cleans your pool better than any other vacuum on the market. It has 4 different cleaning modes depending on your needs, and it also has an eco mode where it saves you a little bit of energy if you're doing like a daily cleaning. If you've been following along with our channel, we also did a review on the Scuba X1 Pro Max. The Pro Max is more for if you have like a pool in a really heavily wooded area, you're getting leaves dropping all the time, and you need like a super power vacuum. But if you want high-end performance at incredible value, the Scuba X1 delivers everything most pool owners need. And here's the best part. During Prime Day, Aiper is offering up to $800 off their products. So that's an absolutely massive discount you're not going to want to miss out on. So if you're interested in checking out those Prime deals, just search on Amazon Aiper Scuba X1 Pro Max. It'll pull up their products and you can see those amazing discounts. If you want to clean your pool with less effort and more time to actually enjoy it, the Scuba X1 is the only way to go. Save big, swim easy, and let Aiper do the dirty work during this special Prime Day deal. Let's get back into the video. I would buy this property, honestly, except we've just made such a huge investment in our short-term rental. We're kind of like pumping the brakes a little bit.
But somebody else should buy this because it is prime.
So it's been on the market for a while. They actually recently did a price cut of $30,000. So it's listed for $359,000. So let's use our formula here while we're looking at some pictures and just kind of see if it fits the formula. So lakefront property in Michigan in summertime, if it's for one family, should still not go less than $500 a night. $500 a night is like kind of the minimum, because everyone wants to be on the lake. And this could be, you know, a 4-bed could technically sleep 8 to 10 people. So you maybe could have 2 small families. But that $500 a night price point is very doable, especially on a beautiful lake like
especially in a place in this type of location, Muskegon, that is like near big cities. This would definitely be very attractive to someone like in Grand Rapids or Chicago to come stay here, because it's not in the middle of nowhere, but you still are getting that like getaway feeling.
And there's stuff to do in Muskegon. Sometimes some people like to go on vacation and just sit and do nothing for a whole week. Other people, I would say a lot more people like to go do activities. And Muskegon's are really, there's a lot of different things close to Muskegon you can do. Again, this property doesn't have actual deeded frontage, but there's a nice sandy beach right in front of it. Absolutely amazing. There's a boat ramp right next to the property, so people are bringing their own boats, BYOB, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, does this also mean that property taxes will be less because it's not technically deeded frontage?
Well, it's just cheaper. I mean, $359, that is a cheap
Why
house.
hasn't anyone bought this?
Yep, so, and it's not even like that outdated. Looking at the kitchen here, the backsplash bothers me slightly. I would maybe update that.
That is so picky.
Well,
That's so
I mean,
picky.
maybe too picky even, but like if you're trying to
It's
go
pretty
design
nice.
heavy Airbnb, it's updated. It's not like super outdated, I would say.
I've always said that when you are doing an open house, whether it's a for sale property or an Airbnb, the stuff is what makes it so sellable, so pretty. Like, look at the couch in that room. Like, it's just a frumpy couch. Like, the stuff is what makes it cool. The artwork, the furniture. Like, it's not even necessarily that you have to tear down walls or tear down tile to make it new and unique and cool. Put up some really funky artwork and some cool, like, unique mid-century type furniture. Like,
I think this is actually an awkward living space, which maybe is why the property is still sitting there.
tell us if you want to walk through this. Let's walk through it together. We'll figure out a good way to lay this out, because it's possible no matter where you are, especially with this kind of square footage, it's possible. And if you are renting out this place, like, you're there for the lake, you're there for the hot tub, for the sauna that you're gonna put in, all the things. You're not there to like sit and watch TV. So.
Good point. So like if you were going to buy this house to live in, you maybe wouldn't like the layout, but because it's just a vacation rental, it can kind of be okay. Similar to our property is kind of a weird layout, but we're getting $750 a night, booked all summer, no vacancy. So
yes,
I mean, that just
weird
goes to show.
layouts matter when it's your everyday home. They do not really matter as much for Airbnbs.
The outdoor could use a little sprucing up. There's a hot tub already, which hopefully it works. I mean, that's a huge amenity that you don't have to purchase already. Even if you have to get a new hot tub, you don't have to redo all the electrical and stuff like that. It's just already to go. The bathroom could use
They could use a little spruce.
New top. I mean, vanity tops are $100. I mean, that's a cheap fix.
Yeah.
It's maybe a different mirror. I don't know. It's not terrible. It's not
terrible. It's not the best. But I'm telling you, if you are not handy like this one right here, who thinks putting in a new vanity is super easy, but not everybody feels that way.
Okay.
Which I agree. Like, you get some chutzpah and you're like, I can do this. But not everybody feels that way, that like they could just put in a new vanity. So if you don't feel that way, I'm telling you, the stuff is what matters. The coolness of the artwork, the furniture, like, that's where it's at.
There's a downstairs kitchenette, living space that goes out to the hot tub area, so that could be a whole nother place that you spruce up. So
you could even put in like bunks down there, maybe like a cool kids area.
So yeah, and then you're at least 10 people you could sleep here. So
let's go.
All that to say, you can see this is a good property. Let's talk numbers, because we haven't yet. If you go $500 a night, like we said, for 100 nights, that's $50,000 a year. Okay, so then you would multiply that by 7 to see if that, is more than your purchase price. So 50,000 times 7 is
350.
350. Okay.
Which this is 359. We're so close. You might be able to get it for that because it's been on the market for a little bit. And I also think you could do better than 500 a night.
Or just more nights than 100.
Or just more nights. Yeah. Especially if you're adding in amenities that are good for those off-season rentals like sauna. The hot tub's already there. Adding in like string lights, things that make it more romantic and more like cozy for those like spring, fall, even Christmas retreats for people, like getaways. Even though you can't go swimming in a lake in November or October, you still like get to enjoy the beautiful like view.
Yeah,
so
we booked a wedding at ours for October because of just the pretty fall colors and the lake setting. So like there's definitely demand more than just those 3 months. That's just kind of, again, our safety net, our like base like evaluation tool. Jamie and Sarah's 1 in 7 rule.
But with our negotiation skills, we could probably easily get this for $350. But so if you want to see this property, whether you live in Michigan or you just want to invest in Michigan because it is top tier state, why doesn't everybody live here?
Don't tell them too much about it.
I'm serious.
You gotta come visit first.
It's so beautiful. It's like, it's got all the things.
We're gonna show you another great one, okay? This one's a little further up. So further up north, okay? But this one is going to be more of your like couples getaway because it's only a 2-bed, 1-bath, 850 square foot.
Ooh, I like
but it's your classic A-frame style. It's very warm inside, and it's on a river. So a little Manistee River.
So magical and dreamy.
So this would be another one, design heavy. You put in a nice hot tub, sauna, cold plunge, you know, that whole thing. So good. I will say this one is further out there. So you're either maybe going to have to pay more for cleaning fees.
Yep, that's a
or
consideration.
Drive further if you are trying to self-manage, which I would suggest when you're getting started at least. So, I mean, it's almost 2 hours from us to this property, but if you could have someone in like nearby Ludington or Cadillac, I'm sure there's cleaning companies out there that could clean it for you. I'm finding that hot tub care is very complicated, especially on well water. So this would be one, if you did put a hot tub in, you know, you're gonna have to have either a higher cleaning fee or just know that it's gonna be kind of a headache. So maybe even just sauna, cold plunge, sorry.
Sauna is a lot easier to take care of than a hot tub.
Yep. Your cleaners can clean it.
I don't know, hot tub is so appealing to everyone. Sauna's not appealing to everyone.
True.
So let's run our numbers. So 195,000 divided by 7, so that's our purchase price divided by 7 because that's our 1 in 7 rule, is $27,857 a year in revenue that you're hoping for. So if you divide that by 100 nights, you are looking at $278 a night to rent this out.
Yeah, so your question would be, can I get $278 per night at this place? I think yes, absolutely. Especially even in off season on those like 100%. Weekends. That rate I think you could definitely do, especially if you renovate it, do all your amenities.
When we say renovate, I'm telling you, it doesn't necessarily mean ripping stuff out. I know we go hardcore with ripping stuff out because we love it, because you're handy, but you can renovate, go super funky with paint, with artwork, with furniture, all those things, and still have a super cool Airbnb. If you got the style, you got the brain, you can do it.
Totally. This one actually, now that you say that, really could just use some cool furniture and keep like the wood aesthetic, like the warmth and the, they got a little like a little skeleton there, which I think is cool. You probably don't, but
it's not a skeleton.
Or a skull.
Yeah, a skull, like an animal skull.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Not a human.
Not a human skull.
Excellent couples getaway retreat. The only tricky part about this would be either finding a management company or a cleaning company if you are not in town or nearby to run it yourself. Again, because it's in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, and again, look at the AirDNA stats. Having 100 nights a year only booked is very rare. Like if you have, especially if you have a really nice property, you're going to be above that 100 night. That's just kind of our base threshold for, again, evaluating. You want to be conservative when you run these numbers. You don't want to get all emotional and be like, it's only 195 grand, but I'm going to make 100 grand a year. You know, like you want to just be slow your roll a little bit. So because you might make 100 grand a year, and so be like excited about that when that happens, but don't have your life and your finances depend on that number.
Right.
So be conservative with your numbers.
Exactly.
So that's what the 1 in 7 rule is all about, is being conservative, being smart with your numbers. So like worst case scenario, this is where you're at. Best case is much better.
Okay, one more to go through. This is a spendy property, but it's on the Lake Michigan, and it's on Pier Marquette, which is like beach, one of the top beaches in Michigan. Is it
on the lake or across from the lake?
Well, there's a road, and then there's the beach, like the public beach. So it's not, I guess, technically frontage.
But your view is like ocean,
the
Lake
ocean like
Michigan.
view. Yes.
Yes.
It's spendy though. $749,000. It's only a 3-bed, 3-bath, 2,500 square feet.
2,500 square feet is pretty big for a house across
It is.
from the lake. Like, that's pretty large.
And
okay.
if you're seeing this picture, I'm already picturing taking that white garage door out and doing a glass one and make like the garage
100%.
more sleeping space for people, bunks. You know, you're gonna try to pack in. If you could pack in like 10 plus people in here.
Hot
ideal.
tub up top there on the deck,
Ooh, yeah.
overlooking the lake.
Rentals in this space, like during those 100 days of summer, those are going to be crazy, like 1,500 plus per night. But then you're going to have the struggle in the off season unless you have like some of those amenities, like Sarah was saying. But
Which, I mean, people love the beach in like spring and fall, like when there's like that cool weather. It's got the nice like warmer breeze, but it's like still got the chill in the air. There's something really special about it without having to swim. Just because you have water doesn't mean you have to swim. You can still enjoy the water. So the design of this one is like the bones are there. They're the nice wood, cozy, warm walls. I know that technically if that was your own home, that might feel outdated. But like when you're in like this cabin-like feeling, especially for off season, like that's the feel that you want. You want that warm, cozy vibe. You make it modern with your unique touches of like nice furniture, mid-century furniture, and then funky artwork, just unique like lamps and things like that.
I think it's pretty horribly decorated, honestly.
What?
Like the bedrooms.
The bedrooms are bad.
Especially.
The living room is their one like saving grace. But like, yes, this could easily be transformed from kind of a dumpy looking rental to a showstopper with just stuff. Like without actually having to rip anything out, like just stuff.
So let's talk numbers with this one, because this one's a little trickier. So this is where a tool like AirDNA comes a little bit more handy, because you can actually click on the exact like neighborhood and see what other rentals they're going for. This would be especially important in a spot like the Pierre Marquette, where there's a bunch of other rentals, because we could be totally off with our estimated nightly rate. So let's zoom in here a minute.
Or what are we hoping for?
Well, I said $1,500.
Yeah, that seems high to me.
It is?
Is it not?
On Pierre Marquette?
I'm always
let's see
blown
here.
away at what people spend.
I mean, this would be like equivalent of like, you know, Panama City Beach and spring break. I would think. I was wrong. I will admit it. She was right, because this one is a pretty good comp, although it's only 2-bed.
It's
Right?
small.
Smaller. These people are getting $500 a night
For across from the
for
lake.
across from lake, similar right in that Pierre Marquette. So
And it's similar vibes, like cabiny, not super updated.
that changes things.
Now that we know our average nightly rate for this area is about $500 a night, even though I think that's low, I think you could do better. Let's see if this would be a good buy. So this property is listed for $750. So using our 1 in 7 rule, do $750,000 divided by 7
Okay.
equals $107,000 a year. So divided by 100 nights. So you need to make $1,071 a night to meet that criteria that we are hoping to meet when we're buying an Airbnb, which is the 1 in 7 rule. So this house would not meet that criteria.
That's right. So I was wrong. So
Way off,
I apologize.
man.
But that's why a tool like AirDNA is helpful, because you can look up exactly what other properties in the area are making per night, what their occupancy is. Yeah, and I think honestly, now that I'm remembering, the reason that Muskegon struggles with their short-term rentals is because the city has a ban or a cap. I think they're only allowed like 20 some in the whole city Airbnbs.
Definitely something to watch out for, to ask your realtors if Airbnb is actually allowed in the city that you're looking into, or if there's a cap on it, because that is hugely important.
It goes by township or municipality. So Muskegon proper, they only have a very limited number. Our Airbnb is near Muskegon, but it's actually in a different township, and there's no regulation. So it definitely varies
Yes.
by where you're looking. So
this one would not meet our 1 in 7 rule. So this one we would not recommend buying at that purchase price. Even though I do think you could definitely do better than $500 a night, but we can't guarantee it. And you want to be conservative with your numbers. So we're not going to get emotional, even though it's Lake Michigan view. We're not going to get emotional.
we also have talked in the past, it depends on what your goals are. We're talking cash flow here.
Right.
If you want a free vacation home that you can use once or twice a year,
Right.
you know, that gets paid for by renters, this could still work maybe, but you got to look a little deeper at that point. But our 1 in 7 rule is for those looking to invest in real estate and have cash flow. We hope you enjoyed the video. I know sometimes those short-term rental evaluations can be very difficult because you don't really know what to expect. So we hope this kind of gives you some groundwork to evaluate some properties, especially if you're in a seasonal market like Michigan. If you have any questions, please comment below or let us know.
Or if you want to walk through any of the properties that we showed you tonight, we are nearby and would love to show you. So we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.